Royal Caribbean mistakes are rarely about price or ship size. Most first-time cruisers misjudge how the onboard system actually works. And that creates the most expensive kind of regret, paying for the wrong things and missing the value already paid for. The result is usually one of three outcomes: a cabin choice that feels inconvenient, a spending plan that drifts daily, or an itinerary that looks good on paper but delivers less comfort than expected. This breakdown isolates the specific decisions that cause that regret after sailing. The focus stays on what can be corrected before booking and before boarding, using practical impacts that change real onboard experience. Comment where you're watching from and whether this trip is about budget control, convenience, or onboard flexibility. Cruise line: Royal Caribbean International. Timeframe: current fleet and commonly used onboard systems across recent sailings. Audience: first-time Royal Caribbean guests who are comparing ships, fares, and add-ons. Evaluation basis: decisions that change cost, comfort, and access once on board. Comparison logic: least understood mistakes first, most costly mistakes later. Scope stays practical, with no brand comparisons and no sales framing. Mistake: assuming all Royal Caribbean ships offer the same experience. Selecting based on the cruise line name and itinerary while treating ship class as a minor detail. Royal Caribbean's fleet is segmented into ship classes with different scale, deck layouts, and venue mixes, which changes how a day on board actually functions. Independent ship class guides and Royal Caribbean's own fleet grouping highlight major differences by generation and class. Why it matters in real cruise experience: the daily rhythm is shaped by ship design. On larger classes, many experiences operate like separate zones with longer walking routes and more distributed crowds. On smaller classes, venues concentrate around fewer areas, and the ship can feel easier to navigate but may offer fewer simultaneous options. That shift affects time use, not just entertainment. A guest who values quick access between dining, pool, and shows generally benefits from layout efficiency more than raw venue count. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it: flexible travelers with minimal onboard priorities can be satisfied across most classes because success depends less on access and more on general comfort. Guests booking based on marketing images alone should avoid this approach. The practical fix is to treat ship class as a filter before comparing sailings. If a must-have is Central Park-style neighborhoods, large water attractions, big production shows, or a heavy activity slate, those tend to concentrate on certain newer, larger classes. If the priority is simpler navigation, easier wayfinding, and fewer dead time walks between zones, smaller classes can be a better match even when the itinerary is identical. Cruise Compass-related consideration: the daily schedule density varies by ship. Before booking, review sample daily schedules for the specific ship class when available, then check the Royal app for the ship's venue list and operating hours once the sailing appears. The goal is not to plan every hour, but to confirm that the ship's day structure matches the travel style. Mistake: overestimating included food and underestimating extra dining costs. Assuming most dining is bundled in the fare, then being surprised by how many venues are specialty or upcharge. Royal Caribbean clearly separates complimentary venues and specialty restaurants, and also sells dining packages that change how specialty dining is priced across the sailing. Why it matters in real cruise experience: dining is both a cost driver and a time driver. Buying specialty dining without a plan can crowd out included dining that already fits the trip, while skipping specialty dining entirely can frustrate guests who use food variety as the main value signal of the cruise. The practical impact is that dining decisions influence the pace of evenings. Specialty restaurants often require reservations at specific times, which can force trade-offs against shows, port fatigue, or late-night deck plans. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it: guests satisfied with main dining room structure and buffet-style flexibility often get strong value from included dining, especially when the goal is low-friction meals that fit changing plans. Food-focused travelers expecting variety without add-ons should avoid assuming the fare covers most experiences. The decision tool is simple: identify whether the priority is convenience or variety. If convenience is the goal, included dining reduces scheduling pressure. If variety is the goal, a targeted approach usually works better than buying multiple specialty nights out of habit. Cruise Compass-related consideration, dining timing is a scheduling constraint. Use the Royal app to review restaurant lists, preview menus where available, and set My Time dining reservations when that option is selected. The point is to prevent dining from colliding with show times later. The app supports dining reservations and package management for many sailings. Mistake: misunderstanding drink package break-even math. Purchasing a beverage package based on a general belief that it always pays off, instead of treating it as a controlled spending tool with a break-even point. Royal Caribbean markets beverage packages as unlimited within terms, and the official FAQ states there is not a daily drink limit for the deluxe beverage package. Why it matters in real cruise experience, packages change behavior. The financial impact is not only whether the package breaks even, but whether it reduces decision fatigue on board. Some guests value predictable daily cost more than optimizing the lowest possible spend. Others value flexibility and dislike feeling locked into usage to justify the purchase. Those two travel styles require different choices, even at the same price point. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it? Predictable, consistent beverage consumption aligns best with packages, because the value comes from steady use across the day, not bursts. Light or situational drinkers should avoid buying out of fear of paying per drink, because the package becomes a sunk cost that can produce unnecessary spending pressure. The practical method is to estimate realistic daily consumption before purchase, including non-alcoholic items that matter to the travel style. Then compare to package pricing in the cruise planner. Third-party guides often estimate break-even ranges for typical drink patterns, but the most accurate inputs are personal consumption and the sailing's actual package price. Cruise Compass-related consideration, beverage cost control is an onboard account issue. Use the Royal app to monitor onboard spending and package status, and confirm current package terms in the official FAQs and the sailing's cruise planner listing. Also note the operational rule that packages generally require ordering one drink at a time per guest, which affects convenience in groups and reduces the practical value for guests expecting multiple drinks per stop. Mistake: choosing cabins based on deck number, not ship design. Selecting a cabin by a simple rule like higher is better or midship is always best, without checking what sits above, below, and beside the stateroom on that specific ship. The same deck number can behave very differently across ship classes and even within the same ship due to public spaces and service corridors. Why it matters in real cruise experience, cabin comfort is largely about noise pattern and foot traffic pattern, not just view. A cabin under a pool deck can experience early furniture movement and late activity noise. A cabin near elevators can experience repeated hallway traffic. A cabin near certain venues can experience intermittent vibration or loud transitions during peak flow. The practical cost is reduced sleep quality, and sleep quality drives how ports, sea days, and evening schedules feel. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it, short sailings with minimal cabin time are more forgiving because the cabin is used mainly for sleep and quick resets. Light sleepers and balcony-focused guests should avoid choosing by deck number alone. The decision tool is to treat the deck plan as a noise map. Use the ship's deck plans to confirm what is directly above and below. Focus on like spaces over like spaces when possible, such as cabins above cabins. Cruise Compass-related consideration. Cabin placement affects daily scheduled durability. If the cabin is in a high-traffic zone, the Cruise Compass plan becomes harder to execute because rest and recovery become less reliable. This is a planning issue, not a comfort luxury. Before booking, check deck plans for venue adjacency. After booking, use the app's deck maps for wayfinding and to estimate walking distance between cabin location and priority venues. Mistake: treating embarkation day as unstructured free time. Arriving with no plan for check-in timing, early reservations, and first-day logistics. Assuming the day will sort itself out once on the ship. Royal Caribbean's app supports several pre-cruise actions, and the FAQ notes that guests can schedule departure time and manage certain logistics in the app, highlighting that key operational steps are time-based. Why it matters in real cruise experience, embarkation day, sets the baseline for the trip's efficiency. Early boarding can provide access advantages for certain reservations and reduced congestion. Late boarding can reduce waiting, but may limit first-day choices on ships where capacity-controlled activities open quickly. The practical consequence is that a casual approach can produce avoidable lines, missed reservation windows, and a disorganized first evening, which is difficult to fully correct later. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it? Travelers boarding late by design can do well if expectations are set and reservations are handled before arrival. Guests trying to secure dining times, shows, or activities should avoid treating embarkation as flexible, because time windows matter. The decision tool is to decide the goal of embarkation day in advance, either minimize friction and accept fewer first-day choices or accept some structure to gain better access. Cruise compass-related consideration. Embarkation day is when the daily plan first becomes real. As soon as the sailing unlocks in the app, review operating hours, first-day showtimes if posted, and dining availability. The objective is to remove uncertainty from the first evening, because that is the most crowded planning environment on board. Mistake: ignoring daily capacity limits for shows and activities. Assuming entertainment and activities are infinitely available, then discovering that some experiences require reservations or are capacity limited. Royal Caribbean's FAQs note that entertainment and onboard activity reservations vary by ship, and that guests can view show schedules and descriptions in My Royal Cruise or the Royal app before sailing. Why it matters in real cruise experience: capacity limits create a hidden hierarchy on board. Guests who reserve early have predictable evenings. Guests who do not may end up building days around what remains, not what fits the trip. The practical cost is time loss. Walking to a venue and being turned away is not only disappointing, it also disrupts meal timing, family logistics, and rest. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it? Guests with flexible schedules can still capture value by choosing off-peak times or alternate performances. Families and entertainment-focused cruisers should avoid leaving the schedule to chance, because coordination costs rise with each additional person and preference. The decision tool is to identify the 1 or 2 non-negotiable experiences for the trip. Then reserve only those early, leaving the rest flexible to match real energy levels. Cruise compass-related consideration. The cruise compass is a capacity map, not just a list. Use it to spot time clusters where multiple high-demand events collide. Those collisions are where regret forms. The practical approach is to choose one anchor event per evening and build meals around it, rather than booking meals first and hoping shows remain available. Mistake: treating Royal Caribbean apps and systems as optional. Relying on printed schedules and onboard discovery alone, while ignoring the digital system that controls many reservations, updates, and account visibility. Royal Caribbean's FAQ describes app functions including dining reservations, excursions, chat, viewing activities and entertainment, onboard account access, deck maps, venue hours, and menus. Why it matters in real cruise experience: the app reduces friction in 3 ways that directly affect decision quality. First, it centralizes operational hours, so a plan does not fail due to incorrect timing assumptions. Second, it provides reservation access where applicable, which protects evenings from last-minute changes. Third, it provides account visibility, which enables spending control without waiting for the end of trip bill review. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it? Minimalist cruisers avoiding structure can still benefit from passive use, such as checking hours and maps without building a rigid schedule. Guests managing dining, shows, and excursions should avoid opting out, because the cost of coordination becomes higher than the effort of setup. The decision tool is to treat app setup as part of pre-cruise planning, not on-board problem-solving. Link travel parties where needed, confirm reservations display correctly, and use the app as a live checklist for the first 2 days until onboard habits stabilize. App Store listings also reinforce that reservations, packages, and planning features are core parts of the experience, not optional extras. Cruise compass-related consideration: the cruise compass becomes more accurate when paired with the app's live updates. Use the compass for structure and the app for operational accuracy. This prevents wasted time caused by outdated assumptions about venue hours or reservation requirements. Mistake: assuming ports define the cruise value. Choosing a sailing almost entirely for the itinerary, while underweighting how much time is spent on board and how the ship's sea day experience matches the travel style. This is especially relevant on sailings with multiple sea days, shorter port times, or port-heavy plans that create fatigue and reduce onboard usage. Why it matters in real cruise experience: the ship is the primary environment for the majority of the trip hours, even on port-focused itineraries. A port plan can be strong while the onboard plan fails due to crowding, limited spaces, or an activity mix that does not match the group. The practical cost shows up as friction, longer waits for meals, difficulty finding quiet zones, and limited access to the experiences that justify the fare. Who it's best suited for, or who should avoid it? Port-heavy travelers planning independent excursions can succeed when the ship is treated as a reliable base rather than the main attraction. Guests expecting constant port-based activity should avoid assuming ports will deliver the entire value, because weather, timing, and energy levels can reduce port day impact. The decision tool is to match the ship to the in-between hours reality: mornings before port, late afternoons after return, and all evening blocks. Those time windows determine whether the cruise feels smooth or crowded. Cruise compass-related consideration: sea days reveal ship fit quickly. Review the sea day schedule density and venue distribution for the specific ship. The goal is to confirm that onboard time has enough options that match the group's pace, whether that means quiet spaces, structured activities, or predictable meal flow. Royal Caribbean rewards informed planning more than casual assumptions. Most first-time regret comes from misunderstanding systems that control access, timing, and total cost. Correcting these 8 mistakes improves comfort, cost control, and time use without adding complexity. Subscribe for future breakdowns focused on avoiding common cruise decision errors, and use the comments to share whether the next booking priority is budget control, convenience, or onboard flexibility.